Alright, now let's talk about the external storage. Now this guy is a little different. So basically you have seen your mobile devices and they can support external storage using an SD card, right? So mostly your SD card is the external storage. However, it could be an internal media. There are some mobile devices which are present with external storage which are not removable. However, SD cards are removable. Now files in external storage are world readable. That means that any application or even the user can access these files using a file manager application, right? While saving the data or saving something in external storage, you can choose a public directory. Like you want to save a music file, then why you are creating a new folder? You can simply use the music folder that is already present in the Android system, in the Android file system. Or you can use pictures or ringtones directories. Okay, so for example, you can save a music file in a music directory and your phone's music player will load it automatically, right? Now there is one important thing about this external storage, that is when user uninstall the application, these files does not get deleted. So these files will not be removed even after uninstalling the application. But make sure that you are saving the data in the public directory. There is one more option in which you can save the data in a private external storage. In that case, when your application is installed, then those files will get deleted. So from the public directory, these files will remain. Alright, so now for external storage, you need something called permissions. Now what is this permission? So basically you have to tell the user, you have to make sure that the user know in advance that your application can save the data on the external storage or can read the data from the external storage, because there are files already present on his external storage. There could be media files or images that you can access, so user has to be aware of that. So to write files on the external storage, you need to mention a permission in the manifest file, and these are the two permissions: read external storage, write external storage. When you request a write permission, you don't need to mention the read, as it will be granted automatically. So if you want to read and write the data on the external storage, then you only need write permission, and if you want to read the data, then you only need read permission. So let's put these permissions first in the manifest file, and we will use this permission, and the permission name is write external storage, right? Okay, so there is one more thing that you have to be aware of before writing the data on an external storage. You have to be sure that there is an external storage. For instance, the user has an SD card, but he removed the SD card from his phone. So in that case, you don't have any external storage. So you cannot write on that SD card which has already been removed from his phone. So in that case, you can check for read and write both using the media mounted. And if you just want to check that you can at least read the data from the external storage, then you will use media mounted read only. Alright, let's see this example now for the external storage, the last topic of this session, and let's go back to the code. Okay, so for this purpose I will create another activity, new activity, blank activity, and I will name it external storage activity, and everything will remain the same. I will even copy the fields from the internal storage because the layout will be almost similar. Not almost, it will be completely similar. So external storage, I will paste it here, and I will only change these things here, like save external data, bd save external, and similarly load external data. Oops, load external. The rest of the things will remain the same. So let me just quickly copy this code, the whole code from the internal, and let me just quickly paste it here. That's it. Let me make it a compare activity, and the file name external file. You can name it anything. You can even name it external file.txt. It doesn't matter. Alright, so let me just okay, so what we will do, we will again use the file operations helper for this guy also. So this file operations helper will help you in reading and writing the internal storage and the external storage. So let's create a couple of more methods here. For external storage, comment it. So public void save external file, and the parameters will remain the same. So let's do that, and I can copy this guy. Oops, copy, and that's it. For now, let's return null, and this will be read external file. Alright, we need one more method. First we have to create actually two methods which will be private. So private boolean is external storage readable. Oops. And another method, private boolean is external storage writable. So why we are using these guys? Okay, so before reading and writing the data, we will check if there is any data, if there is any SD card present or not. Okay, so for checking if the external storage is readable, what we have to use? We have to use an if condition. If environment dot media mounted read-only dot equals environment dot get external storage, return true, else return false. Well, basically you don't need an else. Do we? No, we don't. We can simply put it like this, that if you are able to read it, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. So this is read only. So for writing you need a different thing. If media mounted equals external storage, and this was for read only. We can change this condition a little bit, and there is this one. So what does this mean? It means that if your file, oops, the conditions are reversed. Okay, so basically what this means is, if the media mounted, that means if the file is present for writing, okay, if the SD card is present for writing, then you can read it, obviously, right? If it is not present for writing, we will check if it is at least present for reading. Then if we get the condition as true, then that means that we can at least read. For writing, we have to get the media mounted. So if this condition is failed and if the reading is present, then we cannot write. So before reading or writing in our code here, we have to check if is external storage writable, and if that is the case, then only we can write. Similarly, for the reading part, we will check if is external storage readable, and if that is true, then we will read. So maybe a little complex for you, but trust me, it's very simple and you have to do these things. So for reading and writing, what you have to do here, again the same thing, you have to use the file input stream for saving your file, obviously, but this time the file is file itself. So file equals to new file, okay, so file equals to new file, get external storage public directory. And what is that directory? Well, we can use directory downloads. So basically the downloads directory, we will be reading the file from there. String.value of okay, so now this file input stream, now here we don't need this context.open file input, instead we can use our file. So the file input stream will become new file output stream, and we will provide the file here. So that's it. Now we can access the directory downloads and we can get it into a file output stream. Now for reading the data, we will do the same thing. This time we will need a file again. Alright, let me just do this so that you can see it. It's environment.get external storage directory downloads, semicolon afterwards. This is file input stream this time, and we will write new file input stream, and we will write the file here. So we will be reading and writing from our downloads directory. Alright, but we forgot to mention the file name, right? So what we have to do, remove this and file name. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, we forgot to mention the file name, otherwise what you will be reading from. So this is again the file name that you will be reading from. Now for this one we don't need the context, so we can remove the context, because this thing doesn't need your application context or anything. This is present in the environment, right? So the same thing going on again, but this time the file is changed, okay, and the data will be the same again. So now let's go back to the external storage. So previously what we were using file operations helper get instance dot, but this time we will read external file and again the file name. This will return us a data, so let's save it into a data. Again the saving part is now changed to save external file name, and what was the second argument? That is data, that is data to save, and that's it. Now to run this activity, what I have to do, I have to change my intent filter from here to this activity. Now let's run this thing and let's see if it works. Alright, selecting my device. Alright, so it's about to start. Almost there. Yep. And here it goes with an exception. Wow. Let's see what is this exception. Button on click listener cannot be set on a null object reference, obviously because we are reading externally, right? We just forgot it. Alright, let me just do it once again. Didn't expect it, I just forgot. Okay, this time it worked fine. So save external data, load external data, right? So enter your data here, a dummy text, and let's save it. I hope it is saved. Let's load it. Oops, what went wrong? Permission denied. File not found. Alright guys, okay, so this was the problem. We received the exception that was okay, it's gone already. Okay, so the problem was, I have checked in the manifest file, we were receiving a permission issue, right? That we are not giving the permission, but we have already given the permission in the manifest on the first time. Some of you already have noticed the problem here, but if you don't, well, I don't know, a bug in IDE or something occurred and it made the Android.permission as capital. However, if you see while writing here, it should be Android.permission should be in lowercase. So I don't know why it is happening in my IDE that it is becoming capital. So it should be small. Otherwise, the permission will not be given. Well, it's case sensitive, obviously. So now if I run my application again, so this time I will be able to access the file and I will be able to write and read from the file. So the problem was that permission was there, but still that permission was not working at all because the permission was not in the right case. So now let's run the application once again. And alright, so it is started again, and now this is dummy text I am about to save on external storage, right? So if I save this guy, alright, it is saved perfectly fine, and if I load it, it is loaded perfectly. So this is a dummy text I'm about to save on external file. I already saved. Save it, load it. Alright. So so as I told you that this file which we are about to save here is a public file. So maybe we can see that, right? Well, we should be able to see it. So let's open the file manager here, and okay, here's my file manager, and in the download folder I can see this external file.txt. This was our file. If you are not able to see that, okay, external file.txt. So this is our file, and if I open it here, let's see what does it contains. I already saved the same text that I have saved from the application. So let's revise. Let's see what we have done in the external storage in case you guys got confused. The first thing that you have to mention is the write permission, and make sure that you have Android permission written in the small case letters, otherwise it will not work. Now in the file operations helper we created 4 different methods. So the first method is save external file, read external file, and there is a couple of more methods to check if the media mounted is available, if the SD card is available. Now save to external file, you have to provide the file name, data, and the rest of the things will remain the same as we have done with the internal storage, except you have to create the file, and you have different options for this file. You can save this file in any directory. You can save it in directory.movies, music, notification, pictures, anywhere. So we chose this downloads folder. That is why we are able to see that in the downloads folder. Similarly, while reading the file, we have to first read the file from here. Okay, and these are a couple of more methods that I would like to share with you guys. So when saving a file, what you can do, you can check if file.exist. If file exists, or maybe if file does not exist, what you can do, you can file.create new file. So you can create a new file of this name. That is unnecessary totally, because this code will do that automatically for you. If the file is not present, it will create for you, but you can check it that if the file exists. Similarly, while reading the file, you can check if file.exist, right? If your file exists, then only you will read the file, otherwise you can return null, right? So if your file does not exist and you are trying to read it, that makes no sense, right? So you cannot read it, you just simply return null here, and then you have to check the null at the receiving end. There is couple of more operations that you can do, right? Let's create one more method here, that is public boolean delete external file, right? We can do that, and here we can provide the string file name, and here what we can write the same code again, file name. What is your problem bar? Okay, the N should be capital. You see the problems. Okay, now you can write file.delete, and let me just check what is the return type. Okay, exactly what I was looking for, it is boolean, so I can return file.delete. So in my external storage activity, what I can do, I can create one more button. I can name it btn delete file, and in the activity btn load internal, I have named it internal. I can change it, now mind, external and this will be btn delete. I don't need any internal external for this one because there is only for the delete. Okay, so delete file, so btn delete, and on the click of this delete, btn delete dot set on click listener, zero on click listener, it should be external. What I can do, I can use file operation get instance dot delete external file, and I can give the file name field. This will return me a boolean type. So boolean is file deleted. So if is file deleted, then what I can do, I can simply display a close message, file deleted successfully, else I can show in the toast that file deleted failed. Right? So now let's run this last time with the new options. So you can delete a file, and we will see in the file manager in our device that if the file gets deleted or not. Right? So let's just run it very quickly. Oops. Okay, so we have this file here. Let me just close this application. So here we have this downloads, and you can see the external file is here already. So let's run this application. It will start in a second. Alright, so load external file. I already saved some data. Save, load again, some data. Delete file. File deleted successfully. Now if I load external data, nothing has been loaded. Right? So it's empty, it's null. So your edit text is set to null. And let's go back and see if the file is there. Oops, it's already there. Why are you here? Okay, it's not here. It's the file manager saying that we are not able to fetch it because we know that we have already deleted it. So this is fake. If I go back again, maybe I will not see it exactly. So the file is deleted successfully here, and that's it for the tutorial, guys. I hope you guys have learned from it. Well, for me, I have learned a lot. Thank you.